What do I feel on the information formation and the nations including African Union mediators of effort to stabilize the country in the aftermath of its civil war. According to knowledge, the previous administration's efforts towards Liberia's successful bid for United Nations Security Council seat, former President Josh extends congratulations to President Joseph Boyka and his administration for securing the country's final victory. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia expresses concerns following the release of a compliance audit by the General Auditing Commission, which uncovered several irregularities in the Ministry of State's supplementary payroll system, covering the period from January 1, 2018 to March 31, 2024, urged President Joseph Boyka to take immediate action on the GSC's audit recommendation and ensure those who are implicated, whether past or present government officials, are held accountable. Away from five members of the United Nations come for carrying aid to the war torn Sudan city have been killed in an attack. The agency has said details of these developments in the news bulletin, and the voices of the news makers I hope like taking a break when we come back with the full bulletin. Welcome back. This is the bulletin of news. Liberia has been elected to a non-permanent seat of the United Nations Security Council, making a historic diplomatic milestone for the West African nation. In a nationwide address, President Joseph Boyka described the achievement as both national and a symbol of Africa's growing influence on the global stage. The country's victory comes after a sustained campaign backed by the African Union and key regional partners, allowing Liberia to join the 15-member Security Council as a non-permanent member for a two-year term starting in January 2026. In his address, President Joseph Boyka reflected on Liberia's unwavering and past and praised the country's resilience in overcoming conflict and division. The Liberian leader extended heartfelt gratitude to the nation and supported Liberia's candidacy in homage to the United Nations peacekeeping and African Union mediators whose efforts helped stabilize the country in the aftermath of the civil war. Former President George Weah has extended his congratulations to President Joseph Boyka and the government of Liberia following the country's election as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. In a statement released on June 3, hour after Liberia's victory, former President Weah described the moment as proud moment for the nation, acknowledging Liberia's historic return to the international stage in a critical global leadership role. Liberia was elected during the 79th session of the UN General Assembly in New York, marking its return to the Security Council for the first time in over 5 decades. The West African nation will now serve a two-year term on the Security Council beginning January 2026, participating in key decisions on the global stage. We had also held the occasion to recognize the support of regional and international partners, including the Economic Community of West African States, the African Union, and other stakeholders who backed Liberia's candidacy from the onset. Several more developments. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia has expressed concerns following the release of a compliance audit by the General Auditing Commission, which uncovered several irregularities in the Ministry of State's supplementary payroll system covering the period from July 1, 2018 to March 31, 2024. Addressing a press conference Tuesday, the Central Executive Director Anastasia Miamen stated that among key findings include over 3.5 million unauthorized supplementary payroll spending, payment tutoring US 7.9 million, and LD 994,000 dispersed without proper documentation, including the surveillance payment made to over 647 of employees without authorization. Nami noted that while much of the period falls within the administration of former President George Weah, the current officials of government under the Unity Party government are blameless. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia Executive Director stressed that a report revealed that within 2 months of assuming office, the current administration hired supplementary staff outside of common recruitment processes and paid them over US 36,000 monthly using funds from consultancy budget or without proper documentation or verification. They also called on the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission to expedite investigation into the allegation, adding that the LACC confirmed that the probe into people pardon began on October 14, 2024, but nearly 8 months later, no conclusion has been reached. Yamin highlighted an ongoing LACC investigation into bribery allegation within the House of Representatives. The allegation, according to Yamin, are linked to the dramatic resignation of former House Speaker Councillor Funati Kofa in 2024. In a related development, the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia Director, Executive Director Anase Miamin lauded the government of Liberia for its recent application to the Inflationary Transparency Initiative, calling the move a positive step towards open governance. However, in the same breath, the Center Executive Director raised red flags about what he termed as persistent and worsening corruption in public institutions, especially the Ministry of State, and is urging the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission to act decisively. Former presidential candidate in the 2023 general election and human rights lawyer, Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, has publicly defended Senator Edwin Melvin Snow following a controversial comments expressing desire for the United Party-led government to fail. Councillor Gonglo, through his social media platform, criticized the Ministry of Information's response to Snow, describing it as an infringement on free speech. He pledged to represent Snow if any legal action is taken against him. The former presidential candidate condemned the Boyka administration's intolerance of dissent, emphasizing that free speech is crucial for effective governance and democratic development. Urged that foreign opinion should be seen as opportunity for improvement rather than as threat. Councillor Gonglo also praised the former President George Weah for the enactment of the Kamara Abdullah Kamara Act of 2018, which decriminalized certain offenses related to speech. The human rights lawyer highlighted the significance of this act in protecting citizens from harassment based on their political beliefs and in reinforcing Liberia's democratic system. Women of West Point Market, supported by fellow women on Tuesday, submitted a formal petition to the House of Representatives through Speaker Richard Coon, calling for urgent legislative intervention over what they describe as the unlawful withholding of market authority by Mosurado County District 7 Representative Emmanuel Dan. In the petition, the women alleged that Representative Dan has refused to hand over the keys and official control of the West Point market to the Liberia Marketing Association, despite the court ruling affirming the element's authority. The marketers emphasized that the current element leadership must be democratically elected through a transparent process and should therefore be allowed to assume control of the market. Further countered that Representative Dan's ongoing refusal to comply with the court's decision not only undermines the rule of law but also violates standard administrative procedure. Marketers voiced serious concern that prolonged disputes have disrupted market operation, created confusion, and jeopardized the livelihood of hundreds of women, many of whom are single mothers and so provider for their families. In a quest for better education, the citizens of Yeba Town over the weekend launched a fundraising campaign for the Yeba Town Public School in Todi Statutory District. Norman Yeba Town Public School, located in Marincton, Todi Statutory District, has not been operational since 2018, depriving children access to formal education. The initiative is led by the district education officer, Prince Fully, school principal, Ikegard Fumo, and his fellow is aimed at holding community leaders, including parents, gathered in raising funds for the opening of the school. Speaking at the fundraising program, Prince Fully, the education officer, says the sales schedule has had serious consequences on kids within the district. He added that children in Yewa Town have been left behind in Liberia's educational development long-term closure of the school. The district education officer emphasized the urgency of the fundraising process, called on parents to mobilize community leaders, including parents together to raise funds for the reopening of the school. For its part, the Kogad Flomot principal of the school raised appraised the community's dwelled unwavering commitment to the reporter that the school parents and local leaders towards the process, trusting that the community also in remarks, former Representative Kennedy P. Stanley vowed to support the fundraising for the reopening of this school. And now away from home are members of the United Nations convoy carrying aid to war torn Sudan city of been killed in attack. Several people were also injured and multiple trucks burned among the night as such with gunplay in the country. The two sides in the Sudanese grueling civil war, the paramilitary rapid support forces and the regular army have accused each other of striking the UN convoy. News bulletin, we are taking a very short break to be right back. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, please a reminder you are listening to the Wednesday edition of the program King's News Group. It's a 45-minute news presentation about Liberia and the rest of our one globe. Let's not take our first development. Liberia has been elected to a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, marking a historical diplomatic milestone for the West African country. Why, in the nationwide address, President Joseph Whitehead described the achievement as both a national triumph and a symbol of Africa's growing influence on the global stage. The country's victory comes after a sustained campaign backed by the African Union and key regional partners following Liberia to join the 15-member council as non-permanent member for a period of 2 years.
Responsible for a new chapter in our nation's history. The United Nations Security Council has honored us with a non-permanent seat for 2026-2027, recognizing our commitment to peace and dedication to global cooperation. We extend our deepest gratitude to all UN member states for their confidence. This is a moment of honor military, our 178-year-old republic, Africa's first independent nation, whose long storied journey, our election is not just a national achievement, it symbolizes Africa's perseverance and is a tribute to generations of Liberians who have worked firm to freedom, self-governance, and global solidarity. From our role in the League of Nations, as the founder member of the United Nations, our contribution to African independence in Liberia has always punched above the global stage. We honor the memory of the Martha Angie Brooks Randa, Africa's first female president of the United Nations General Assembly, whose call for substance over symbolism still echoes. And we recall the foresight of President William R. Carter Jr., who won the global peace was impossible without African leaders. Liberia has a difficult role.
Meanwhile, following Liberia's victory, Liberia's Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Councillor Edward Gray, described the occasion as a historic crossroads that will echo through the annals of time. Councillor Gray said with the media engagement following the vote that the election is more than an achievement and a profound affirmation of the nation's dedication to international peacekeeping.
Today, we stand at a historic crossroads, a moment that will resonate through the annals of time, a moment marked not just by numbers on a ballot, but by the unwavering commitment to peace, security, and cooperation amongst nations. Liberia is deeply honored to accept this momentous vote for our position on the United Nations Security Council. This achievement is not merely a reflection of our dedication, it is a testament to the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of countless individuals who yearn for a world where dialogue triumphs over discord, where unity prevails over division. We have gathered here as representatives of diverse cultures and perspectives, but we are united in our shared purpose to forge a more just and equitable world. As we embrace this new responsibility, we remember the weight of the trust placed upon us, and we are aware that the challenges we face are formidable. Conflict, inequality, and climate change, to name just a few. Let us also honor the legacy of those who've come before us, who've paved the way for this moment with their courage and conviction. Today, we celebrate not just a vote, but a renewed commitment to our shared humanity. Together, we shall rise to the occasion, and together, we shall make the change that we all wish to see. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts to the nations of the world that gave Liberia its confidence. We embark on this journey with hope, courage, and an unwavering resolve to make a difference.
Liberia's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Councillor Brewer Great then speaking. Earlier in the speech, President Joseph Boakai, the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia has expressed concerns following the release of a compliance audit by the General Auditing Commission, which uncovered several irregularities in the Ministry of State's supplementary payroll system, covering the period from July 1, 2018 to March 31, 2024. Addressing a press conference Tuesday in Singleton, Director General, Executive Director Anna Miami stated that among key funding include over US $3.5 million unauthorized supplementary payment spending, payment totaling US $7.9 million.
Within the demographic approach, while we don't make the government of Nigeria for the recent transparency, we are mindful of the recently released a general auditing commission for the compliance audit of the supplementary payroll system of the Ministry of State for a period covering July 1, 2018 to March 31, 2024. The report underscores systemic issues in public financial management of the Ministry of State on review unauthorized supplementary payroll spending in the tune of over $3.5 million dollars, payment of over $7.9 million dollars, and Liberian dollars allowance to $4,766 without supporting documentation and unauthorized severance payments to 647 million of employees. We note that the audit covers to a large extent the administration of film President George Weah and the previous ministers such as Nathaniel McGill, our Senator McGill County, and Lisa Blanco. Nonetheless, in addition to the many systemic issues raised by the audit linked to the current administration regarding previous administration, the report indicates that the ministry under the current administration hired some eventually staff within 2 months of taking office without proper recruitment processes and paid the highest over US $36,000 monthly for consultancy budget line without verification or documentation. The report also noted failure of the current administration to provide records or facilitate verification of these employees, raising concerns about transparency and accountability. Center sees this finding as disturbing, especially considering that the Ministry of State dismissed 2 senior officials in 2024 that made reports of payroll conflict. We wonder whether the ministry dismissed these officials for acts done prior to the Black administration or for those done during the Black administration or both. We believe that the answer to this dilemma will shed light on whether the Ministry of State is truly committed to fighting corruption and not saving face by targeting.
At the same time, the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia Executive Director Anas Yamin lauded the Liberian government for its recent accession to the Fisheries Transparency Initiative, calling the move a positive step toward open governance.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we have read with great excitement that Liberia has joined the Fisheries Transparency Initiative on May 21, 2025, a global multi-stakeholder partnership aimed at enhancing transparency and participation in sustainable management of marine fisheries through the implementation of the FIDI standard. FIDI standard is a global recognized framework that outlines specific transparency requirements for countries in the governance and management of marine fisheries. We applaud this effort by the government of Liberia through the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, NAFA, to promote the culture of transparency, especially within the fisheries sector. Liberia's membership to the initiative is a step in the right direction in promoting an equitable, inclusive, and transparent fisheries sector. On should be those days when policies, frameworks, agreements, processes, and reports with implications on the people of the state are shrouded in secrecy. Now is the time to nurture.
Executive Director Anas Yamin has Mr. Obuno Development, former presidential candidate in lawyer, Councilor Tawan Kong, has publicly defended Senator Edwin Melvin Snow following the controversial comments expressing a desire for the Unity Party-led government to fail. Councilor Gongley, through a social media platform, criticized the Ministry of Information's response to Snow, describing it as an on free speech, he pledged to represent Snow if any legal action is taken against him. The former presidential candidate condemned the White House administration's intolerance of dissent, emphasizing that free speech is crucial for effective governance and democratic development.
Fellow Liberians, I'm here to speak to you this evening about a very important subject matter: the intolerance of some government officials of opposing views of other Liberian government officials and even ordinary people. Last week, I read in the papers different views and even heard on the radio and read online very important government officials reacting to Senator Edison. What I've heard is that they were reacting to a statement that they wish that the government would fail, and they were reacting in different ways. I was surprised at the reaction because normally, even in families, some people can say, this child will be nothing, this one will be nothing, this one will be nothing. I was told at some point that I will be nothing when I became minister, I became solicitor general, and I used to tell some of those family members, yes, I was young, I was hired, I was working about all that, but here I am today. This man is involved in student activism. You will not even finish University of Liberia. You will go nowhere. That is what it felt. But that statement, rather than me arguing with them, stimulated me. Why can the government say, if you say we fail, you are a liar? That should stimulate official government to succeed, to work so hard, like Abraham Traore, for the people of Liberia to feel their work, not to express anger. It shows intolerance. Opposing views are important in a democracy because it helps you to see the other side and to succeed. I don't think that people should be so angry when people express views against them. They should rather come and put people wrong not about what they say, but what they do in the interest of the Liberian people, like Ibrahim Traore, like other leaders in Africa. Look, during the election, my younger sister, whom I love so much, supported me in the first round. In the second round, she told me, brother, you have expressed support for Waka and call upon your party. I'm not LPP, I'm going to support George Weah. I had no problem with that. But then I read the people supporting there's problem in the Gongo family because while Gongo is supporting Waka, his sister is supporting Weah. I was not troubled by that. I was now opposed to that. And me and my sister remain close, and we are close to the very close to it. I came in the newspaper and said, that is not true. There's no problem in the Congo family. No expression of political views of people, which is
Tawan Kong, there's and in a quest for better education, the citizens of Yuba Town over the weekend launched a fundraising campaign for the Yuba Town Public School in Todi Statutory District. The non-dormant Yuba Town Public School located in the Marine Grounds at Todi Statutory District have been, has not been operational since 2015, depriving children access to formal education. Speaking at the fundraising program, Prince for the district education officer says the 6 years closure had has serious consequences on school kids within the area. He added that the children in Yewatan have been left behind in Liberia's education development with long-term closure of the school.
To the lack of so many things. When our school have been broken down, but now today we are in Yipasa, the Tamar Public School in the past 6 years. And here we are raising a fund to see how, but very dwell to see how we can very elevated school back. To start hopefully by grace of God to move the next school in J because as information circulating around this community, we have additional opportunity, two more community honestly. From is that better happens a full school. We are Emusa Public School. We are Kenga have a single doing although Kenga is functioning. We have lay parent, we have medical, public school, and that's not a Yotan public school. In consultation with our various principals, we have meeting with them on a continuous basis. We are going to run all our public school, the private school, the state-based school to bring in our information because right after this, the next school intake, of course, with our training and the training we got to do the school level management and other things. After that, and transfer some material I've been giving the various principals some time to transfer some material. I don't know. They start out with get to do a textbook, get to do a call, you just name the material for a class. Well, to see how they can start from there. But now, instantly, what we have done is we are communicating with all the local chiefs around this wedding place. We are communicating with them to see how they can come in to help. We have meeting with them, how they inform our old chief, everything government cannot do for all. So we have the meeting and the meeting of food posts, money pledges, gasoline, money promise or green power saw to see how they can start the process. And right there, as it is today now, we are do a late fundraising to get funding to what to complete the process. To the challenge, we are calling on our stakeholders, we are calling on the community dwellers.
First, the Kugad, the one president of the Yuba Town Public School, will praise the community leaders wavering commitment to the fundraising exercise, including that the school administrator are working tirelessly with parents and local leaders towards the process, stressing that the dedication show how deeply the school is needed within the community.
Our parents are all here doing their own contribution. Our invitees, most of them the pledges, most of them told us that after this program, because one of our major challenge we have here is the road. We don't have good road network. So to see most of these guys, our government officials living from over here to come here, we say our road is bad. But after the program, we should meet them.
So basically, what's the driving distance, the level of kilometers from here from a road?
From here, Kakata on motorbike is about an hour. Our parents have come up with strategies that they will come up with an MOU that you parents that will fail to send your child to this school, this Billy Kamal public school. These parents will be found, they will find the parent money and you can have consequence to fail. So the parents are really encouraged that all their children, they will make sure that all their children will go to school. They will send their children to school. We are appealing to the government, Ministry of Education, to help us to come and renovate our school. Our school need a lot of material. Even if we don't have a chairs, armchairs for our children to sit on. So even we are talking about reopening, but what will our children sit to learn? We don't have textbooks, we don't have anything. So we are appealing to central government and humanitarians. You, whosoever that will be listening to us today, we are asking you to come and help us. This is our appeal. Please come and help us. We need your help. Our children need education. This is Maserado, the rural part of Maserado.
Also, in remind former Representative Kennedy Pee Son vowed to support fundraising exercise for the reopening of the school. Noted that the reopening of the school is an investment into the lives of young people and the future of Liberia.
There are two things that develop a country. You see, number one, that love. When we love each other, we'll be able to help each other. The second thing is education. If we get about 50 young people from the get a client that are educated, you see the people will be developed. So these two things we should always take it serious. So having said that, I will open the rally with 2,000 dollars. By next week, I will also give $10,000. We the parent are here. Let us open our arms to those that will be here to teach. The problem came from we are citizens in the area. We are not helping the people that were teaching here. And we are preparing the future for our children. I've been part of the district where you see some of the teachers living with the people in the community. They carry me to the teachers and to teach is not easy. Myself, I spend some time in the classroom. I know what it means to go to school with empty stomach. So let us learn how to stretch into those that will be here. Because maybe we might not have teachers coming right now from the government to come here. But even if our own brother and sister, we should be able to help. So put them on government period, not just easy thing. Anyone that one room you get or two room, they then one room that will be there to help. But then we can tell about building teachers quite well here.
Leaders and authority of the Mara Plain into the statutory district they're speaking in, they are carrying us on today's edition of the news program. Before we take leave of you, here are top stories we can following Liberia's election on the United Nations Security Council, President Joseph Boyka extends warm gratitude to the nation that supported Liberia's candidacy pay homage to the United Nations peacekeeper. including African Union mediated whose effort helped stabilize the country in the aftermath of its civil war. After failing to acknowledge the previous administration's efforts toward Liberia's successful bid for a United Nations Security Council seat, former President Joshua extends his congratulations to President Joseph Boakai and his administration for securing the country's final victory. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia expresses concerns following the release of a compliance audit by the General Auditing Commission, which uncovered several irregularities in the Ministry of State's supplementary payroll system covering the period from July 1, 2018 to March 31, 2024. Urged President Joseph Boakai to take immediate action on GSE's audit recommendations and ensure that those implicated, whether past or present government officials, are held accountable. And away from whom five members of the United Nations convoy carrying aid to the war turned in Sudan City have been killed in an attack, the UN agency has said. Let us say many thanks to our news writers, editors, and reporters for making today's news presentation a success. DJ Diallo and Benjamin Johnson Sala Control and ably coordinated the sound system. On behalf of the entire team here, I'm Stephen Compton. Thanks for listening and watching.